hello. Welcome. Come in, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, guys, of course, tonight we are here to talk about, Keysha Cole. This is my story. Let me go ahead and bring my girls in, all right? My co-host that's in the building, coming all the way. Well, she actually in a different location, but she's still bringing her hammer, okay?
Yeah, even though I'm not in Queens, Queens is in the building.
Yes,
What's up?
okay. And then we got, EJ, the TV junkie, coming in from Texas. We are all gathered in the den tonight, y'all. All right. And we are it's ladies' night, okay? It's ladies' night. And we feeling right. So we're gonna be talking about Keysha Cole. This is my story. So ladies, what was y'all thoughts on this little movie that Keysha put together? Because I know, like, I never watch other people's reviews, and I don't really too much love to see what people saying on social media. But sometimes, because I'm tweeting out different stuff when I am watching, I do see some tweets. So I've seen some criticisms, and some stuff I had little criticisms on too. But overall, I want to hear from y'all ladies first. What was y'all thoughts on it?
Was it bad stuff? Because I really didn't see much. Because I ain't seen nothing bad. I thought they picked a good person to play Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie Morgan killed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think Keysha Cole was bad with her acting. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like little certain parts she looked kind of nervous or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't that bad. Yep.
Yeah. Well, most of the criticism I saw, but I always say this, whether it's with biographical films, I don't care if it's, based on true story. It's always, of course, best when you have the artist or the person you talking about's input or the family support, because I feel like you get more of the real story that way. But even when it's those things, it's still where they're gonna change things to dramatize it. Even though, to me, in my opinion, some things I don't be feeling like they need to change. I feel like they can kind of tell the story as is. It's always usually where they change stuff. So from most of the tweets and things I saw, it was really people saying like, "Oh, why did they rush this?" Or "That's not the way that it went." Her mom was in rehab during this time, or she wasn't even with the husband yet during that time, or that wasn't even her first single. It was little things like that. I wasn't gonna really
Wow.
nitpick over that stuff. Now, I will say, when I first heard they was doing this, I was kind of like, well, what are we gonna learn different? Because so much of her life was in the public eye. She did so many reality shows, things of that nature. But I personally feel like, it's up to the person to tell the story the way they want to. And I ain't mad at her for getting her bag. If they was willing to pay for her to be able to, put her story out there, why not? And I more so felt like this was a love letter to her mom. I really didn't feel like it was so much about it, being about her. But I did feel like certain parts was rushed. But I didn't feel like, it was anything that I would be like, oh, this is the worst thing I ever seen in my life. I
Yeah,
agree
I
with
didn't think
you.
it was bad like that. Where it's
Yeah,
like
I thought her acting was
it,
okay for somebody that's not, really an actor, and especially to freaking reenact her mother's funeral. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do that at all.
no, I know that's the hard part. But
Yeah.
you know what else though? I like the fact that how can I say it? I'm trying to put it into the right words. Certain things they should have lingered on longer.
Mm-hmm.
They grazed over certain parts of her life,
Mm-hmm.
like the whole her husband situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was kind of like it was rushed. That part was rushed.
Okay. I could see that. Yeah, it definitely was certain things that I felt was kind of rushed. And, it was a few people that was like, oh, this should have been, a week series, but I don't think we needed a week series really. But I could understand the criticisms. It wasn't nothing where I was like, oh, y'all just, trying to hate or do whatever. It was like, I could see the points, but some stuff I'm just not going to go, over the top with it if it's not exact, because I know that most of these, even when they're based on true stories, are not exact. It's just not. And they even put up the thing that was like certain parts is dramatized and so on and so forth. But before we get into it, since Moochie did bring up, what a great job, y'all be calling her Tariq grandma, but Miss Debbie Morgan did. as Frankie. I just wanted to mention her, shine a light on her, put a crown on her head. Okay, y'all know I'll be liking to do that
Exactly.
because baby, when I tell you this lady, I love her. I loved her since she was Angie on All My Children. Like she's been acting over 40 years. She done
Mm-hmm.
been in everything that you could think of under the sun. Like she was well, I guess they was everybody's favorite
Shoot,
couple, her
she
and
was on
Angie.
What's
Her
Happening
and
before she
Jesse.
did All My
Yes,
Children. She was on What's
exactly.
Happening. She was on
Yes,
Good
and
Times.
good times.
She was
Yep.
on all of these shows before.
Yep.
Like y'all need to really give
Yes.
this lady her flowers because
Absolutely.
she is traditional black tea.
Yes. Like she had to be either late teens or early 20s when she started acting, and she's like 66 now and still looking good. Okay. And like Mucci said, all my children, what's happening, good times, Eve's Bayou,
Eve's
Coach Carter,
Bayou.
Loving Basketball,
Love
the
that.
Jesse Owens story, I should say, Hurricane. She even played Tony Braxton's mom in the Tony Braxton movie,
Mm-hmm.
Sex Topless with Marlon Wayans, and a host of different Christmas movies. And then she was in All Kind of People, which I'm still mad that got canceled.
That was
The
good too. My
Quad.
sister was
Yeah,
watching that, and
that
she
was
don't
good.
watch that much TV.
Yes, so definitely shine a light on her, and she killed this just like we knew she would. Okay, so yeah, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this and talk a little bit about this thing and what was going down in there. Like I said, I wouldn't have been able to do this part at all. How did y'all feel? Like, who want to break it down first? Like, what was your thoughts? Like, oh, they really, starting with this. That's how I felt.
You talking about just from the first part or just the
Yes.
overall?
Yeah. The overall, I guess just like knowing that they was starting with the funeral and where they was gonna go from there. Like what was your
Um, yeah. I mean, I figured. I didn't look at very much social media either like you
mm-hmm.
came to. And I don't put a lot of. I like for people to tell their own stories, and
Yeah.
the fact that she was involved in this, I thought it was great because I mean, when we had the Aaliyah thing, I didn't look at it because I was such a
I
huge
didn't
fan
either.
of Aaliyah, and I just couldn't stand to see someone tell her story that wasn't her family. So I appreciated this because Keysha Cole was involved and she was actually playing herself. I love that. I love when Fantasia did it as well. So I think both
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She did
make
a
the
good. That
best
was a good
biopic.
show too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought this was actually pretty good. I had no problems with her acting. She was playing herself and she played herself, literally. You know what I'm saying? You could tell, like Moochie said, she was nervous at some parts. But
Yeah.
other than that,
I
I thought
thought
she
she
did
did a
amazing.
good job.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I thought she did a really amazing job, especially who I couldn't imagine having to reenact my mom's funeral as we're talking about this scene to go
Mm-hmm.
through that. That had to be hard and difficult for her. But like I said, I when they started out with this particular part of it, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be interesting. And I think that this is gonna be more of a homage to her mom, and that's exactly what it turned out to be. So it's good for me.
I can't hear you, Tamika. You're mute. You on mute.
Oh shoot, sorry y'all. We started of course with the funeral, then we went back to her, childhood. Of course, first thing we see her singing. What you thought about her and this boy and the conversation they was having and all of that?
They was having like planning a future.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you if you only knew.
Oh God. Young love, right?
Yes.
Um Now what did y'all think about this mama? This was this was the mother.
Um. Now
Well,
we
and the
seeing
father, because the father was in the cut too. He was hiding out.
exactly, and he was like, "Look, I'm hard now because look, I don't want to get involved with this." And we actually see what Wayman and what was his name on the Cosby Show? I forgot his name on the
Oh
Cosby
God,
Show.
I can't even remember his name either. But he was Denise.
Husband.
Yeah, her husband that she surprised him and brought home. Oh man, I'm so
Mm-hmm.
mad I can't remember his name.
Elvin, not Elvin. That was the other one.
I
Hmm.
forgot his Kendall.
Yes,
Kendall. Yeah, Kendall.
yes. Yeah. Did you feel like she was being too hard on her, like right off the bat, or did you feel like you understood where she was coming from?
I understood where she was coming from. She knows where she came from, and what her life was like before she got there. So of course she's gonna be kind of like, you know, watching her, and she wants her to be careful because she wants the best for her, and she doesn't want her to turn out like her mother.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
thought it was interesting too that we start right out in the beginning with her really like trying to look out for her mom. The money she has, she wasn't worried about taking it to get herself something. She was worried about taking it to go give it to her mother. And essentially, she was also telling her, besides getting on her about the boy that she's hanging out with, like, you cannot take care of her. That's not your responsibility. You know, your mom got to take care of herself. But, you know, of course, she just care about her mom, and seems like she spent most of her life doing that. But we going to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
So then she goes and she finds Neffy. Now, I did think that this young lady, and even the one that played the older Neffy, I felt like they had Neffy down pack, baby.
Oh
EJ, what
yeah.
did you think about Neffy and their interaction?
Yeah, I definitely thought that they got someone good to play her. So I like the fact that we've seen Keysha Cole's TV show, or if you watched it or whatever, but you saw her reality show, and I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely Neffy. And they've always had this relationship where it was kind of it was interesting. You could always tell that Neffy had this thing about her, about what Keysha got and what she got, as far as the life, where she was dropped off at and where Keysha was dropped off at. You could always tell that there was an issue with that, and I
Mm-hmm.
get it. I think they did a really good job picking the people to play Neffy, and it's just sad, but
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Savannah.
Hi,
Huh,
Savannah.
Savannah? I'm sorry, I didn't even give y'all in the chat a shout out. Excuse me, y'all know I love y'all. Hey, Kendall. Kendall says, and she was definitely right about the guy. Oh yeah, we see that later on. Yeah, we gonna
Mm-hmm.
get to that.
Mhm.
We gonna get to that, okay? And I wanted to know how long it had been in between. What was the time frame?
They
Monique
did a lot of time.
69 Ways said tough love. Yeah, because she did seem hard on her, but I understood where she was coming from. And even me seeing her and Neffy in these scenes, like knowing everything that I know now, I could understand why Neffy kind of felt the way she felt too. I could see how both of them like just was struggling because they're in a situation that neither one of them was, asked to be in at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Exactly. But she
What's
seemed
up,
like she
Candy
has a
Love
lot of resentment
LSW?
towards her though.
Yeah. Samara Bonnie is in the house. HEA. Inga's in the building. Thank y'all for coming through. I appreciate it. What's up, Torian? I don't know if you still here. Bonnie, Love, Shannon. I'm sorry, y'all. I was supposed to say hello to y'all first. I'm just jumping right into it. but
Clara.
um, yeah. So she finds her whatever, and I thought this interaction between her and her mom was um it was interesting. It just shows that even though she's out here and she's struggling with her addiction and all of that, like she still was dropping gems to Keysha. She still used to keep it real with her, and I appreciated that part of their conversation too. How did you feel about it, Mochi?
I like the way she was talking to her and telling her, like, you go out there, you get settled, and when you and then come back for me. I like that she was giving her hope and putting she didn't shoot her idea down thinking it was bad. She said you just go out there, like she knew her daughter was gonna make it, to seem like.
Yeah. And she was telling her like you gotta have your own and do your own thing and depend on yourself and different stuff like that. Now I will say, which listen, a lot of I ain't even gonna just say young people because there be some grown people too will make fun of people that they feel is out here on drugs and stuff like that. And that part where that boy was laughing and trying to make fun of her in the store and Keisha got up and punched him, I was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
Lord, she was not playing, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, addiction is a real illness, and
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and she was really trying at one time.
at
Hmm.
some point, it don't become a choice no more. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point,
Right.
it's something that's really hard to shake. I mean,
Hmm. And
so
she kept telling her too, like, "Listen, girl, I'm grown, all right. I deal with what I'm dealing with, or whatever. It's not your job." So it's like at this point, she had heard it from the stepmother, she had heard it from Nephi, and then she heard it from her mother herself, who's saying, go do what you got to do for you or whatever. I'm all right. Don't worry about me. But of course, she's still gonna worry about her. But when she got back to the house and this happened, what did you think about this, EJ, with her? I mean,
I,
she missed curfew, so was she supposed to do this, or should she just have been like, you want punishment?
at the end of the day, as a parent, and this is her grandmother, I believe, right? This is. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. This is her grandmother, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think she was her grandmother.
Okay, okay, because I thought this was her grandmother. So at the end of the day, as a parent, you get it. Someone misses curfew, and you have rules and stuff like that. But I just never. I guess I personally can't be that parent that puts my kid out, and that's just because I can't.
Oh, you said adopted parents? Yeah, because I at one point I heard foster
Hmm.
parent, but then
No,
I
they
heard
was her adoptive parents. They
okay,
didn't know, they wasn't related to
okay, okay,
Frankie.
I didn't
okay,
know how she said.
okay.
But okay, so that's cool. But yeah, so at the end of the day, whether they're her adopted parents, whoever they are, they're her parent role, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't fathom putting my child out on the street to fend for themselves at night. Like, I mean, honestly, you know, I'm I'm just like that parent who's like, I always have to know that my kids are safe. And so, even though you miss curfew, and I understand you're trying to teach somebody a lesson, it's just another way to teach a person a lesson, especially someone who's already been abandoned. It just
Hmm.
feels like this was another form of
Of
abandonment.
abandonment. Hmm.
And I didn't necessarily agree with it. I get old school parenting and all that type of stuff. I mean, I've seen this. I've seen parents put their kids out. If you ain't gonna do right, you can do.
Right.
But I didn't agree with it in her case because she sees what she's going through. She knows that she was going to the mom to help her. She knew that. She knows
Mm-hmm.
what she's doing. So yeah, I just didn't agree with it. But to each his own, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so too, Kendall. But either way, it was either forced or adopted. Maybe at one point they did adopt her, but I do remember like always hearing a part of her story being that, she was in some type of form of foster care, whatever. And I guess the kids had got split up, because of everything that was going on with Frankie.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I see that Monique 69 Ways said
Oh,
that
what's up,
watching that
Demarcus?
scene, I felt like I was watching a part of my life. I felt like that when it came to this part with her going to the church. I actually got a little bit of chills from this part because I remember sometimes my mother never put me out, but sometimes I used to just leave when I would get pissed off or certain things would happen.
Mhm.
And no matter what, I still would show up to church. So I thought it was so interesting that after that happened, she went to church. She like, trying to get them to pray over her. Like me, I was in the choir and I always felt better when I would, go to church and get in the choir and sing the songs. It was like whatever problems or issues was on my mind, it felt like it would disappear once I was there. That was like kind of my safe space. So I felt like I identified with her when it came to this part. I was like, she could have been hanging out or going to do anything, but she decided to go here and just have the pastor pray over her and be like, I want to make it. I want to utilize my voice and have my dream come true or whatever she was saying. And he, was like, so you say it, so it's so, right? And just have your faith and believe in it. So that
Yeah.
part kind of touched me.
Yeah. Same.
Hmm. Hey, Demarcus, thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. You
Thank you for
throwing
the
out
super
them sticks.
chat.
Okay. Samara said her uncle used to lock her out. Oh Lord. Effie was with the grandma. Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
Because
Because
I
I
remember,
do remember hearing something about the grandma.
yeah, me
Uh-huh.
too. I was like, I heard.
Um.
But how you
So.
gonna get mad because she put you with family and she
Mhm.
put her with a stranger?
Maybe the grandmother wasn't treating her good. I don't know. That's the thing. They never really went into the details.
Yeah, but they was still you
Because
could talk
remember,
about
she
it on the
made the
show
phrase.
too.
Remember, she said the phrase, "Oh, they not gonna want me. They only gonna want the light skinned one." Because she was telling her, "Why don't you come there with me?" So I don't know what the
Mm-hmm.
difference was, but obviously she didn't think that they left her in a good spot. Kids perceive things. I mean, well, people. I can't even say kids. People perceive things in different ways anyway. We know that. So,
Yeah, fact.
Moochie, what did you think when she come and she talking to her friend, and we seeing homeboy from the beginning? I said, well, how
And
much
he just
time
walked past
passed?
her like she didn't exist.
Yes,
That was the crazy part.
this chick got a big old belly. I was like, well, wait a minute. I mean, she seemed a little hurt by it, but she didn't seem to really
She seemed like
devote.
she knows she dodged the bullet too.
Right?
Okay, how
Yeah,
about that?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. She was more focused on getting her
Mm-hmm.
stuff together and finding out where her mom was and things of that nature. So he ends up telling her she got mail at the house. It was funny to me how her adopted mother was ready to say, "No, you ain't got no mail." Then, Daddy like, "Nah, she do." What y'all thought about this check?
I was
She
happy.
seemed like she was gonna try to keep the check, yo.
I
I
was
was like, what the heck? Sorry, Keysha.
No, you fine. You fine. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was just gonna say I was happy that the daddy that he finally stepped up, because when she put her out on the first scene, it's like he didn't have a backbone. He didn't say anything, and I didn't like that. Like, regardless of what's going on, a conversation should have been had, and you should have stood up right then and said, no, we're not putting this child on the street because she's already been abandoned. We're not gonna abandon
Right.
in. But this time he steps up and he's like, come in, disregarding what she got to say about it. And I like that part. And then the fact that this check came, it's just all about, I was like, okay, this is cool that this happened, because, it was all in the cards. It was what was supposed to happen so that she could get to the next step. And I just think it was a true testament to faith and praying and really believing in something. I don't know. It's just something about her story is just,
Yeah.
um,
I definitely like that he spoke up in that part too, and I felt like he, should have been spoke up. But I was happy. He's like, "Listen, lady, shush, enough already, okay?" And he was very encouraging to, Keysha. And apparently, she had already went out to, like, where was it, California, to try before, and they were
yeah,
saying some horrible stuff happened to her when she was out there. They didn't go into the details of that, but I don't know what her exact age was supposed to be at this point, because I was like, wow, so she already went out there, then came back and came, she was doing a lot. And where was she even getting the money from that she was able to sit there and be going and giving her mother money, trying to make sure she got money for food and stuff, even though we know she probably wasn't spending it on that. Like, that was a lot.
it was. It really
I
was.
didn't even actually see how much
Oh no,
the
but wasn't
check was
she
for.
singing backup for MC Hammer? I think that's where
Yeah.
the money might have came from.
She
Yeah.
was she was doing that, but they didn't really touch on it that long.
Yeah.
That's the part I didn't like about them, the things that they grazed over.
Right.
But I
Yeah,
don't even remember how much that check was for.
I think it was like
14
14,000, if I'm not mistaken.
it was 14,000.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, what you gonna do with that money?
Mm-hmm.
Mind your
She's
business.
like, oh, all the times I helped you and was feeding you, she wanted a cut of them dollars.
Hmm.
Oh Lord.
But
So
she took care of later though.
yeah, she did. She absolutely did.
She better than I am. I ain't gonna lie.
But she was there for her. She had a way about her, because what did he say? She loved tough just like you. I said, I don't know about all of that, but she did stick it out with her. I will say that, because we seen her through the years from what they were showing.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, struggle reviews.
Hey.
Yes, check this out. It was
Yes, she had
actually
no clue about the movie. I was telling her about it tonight.
it was actually good. It was actually good. And the two Mary J. Blige ones are really good. Check
Hmm.
those out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming through. So, Moochie, you want to talk about this? But well, you kind of touched on this earlier. This was like when came there. She was in there with her little boo. She like, all right, I'm glad. Go, go, go.
Mm-hmm. But
Trying to
I
be with.
like the way she told her to go ahead and pursue her dream and come back and get me.
Yeah.
This
I
was the
didn't really
part that
believe
was
her
so
when she
touching.
said, you get settled first and I'm going to come, though. I'm like, oh, Lord, and gave her the ring. But I like that she said, because Keysha was trying to tell her, like, God gave me this dream for you. And she like, no, God gave you this dream for you. This is your dream. This is for you
Mm-hmm.
to do. I was like, I know that's right. I did respect that.
Yeah.
So of course, this when she gets to the hotel room, she on her own now. Okay, on her own. And now, we moving on. We see Tom pass, and we got her, of course, singing the famous "Love." Okay, EJ came in today singing it. She said it's stuck in her head.
Yes, it is. Y'all don't want to hear me sing it though. I would bust it for y'all, but y'all don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to butcher the song either.
we see. I tried to say. Wait a minute. Oh Lord, did I knock EJ out?
Uh-oh. No, she did at the bottom. Oh no, that's the pictures. My bad.
Oh God, I think
Yeah,
I
bring her
made a
back in.
mistake.
Yeah,
Oh, there
nope,
she
that's
goes.
not her. That's the picture at the bottom of the thumb. There she go.
There she goes. Sorry, EJ. I don't know what the
Look,
heck.
That was my fault. My bad.
we thought the thumbnail picture was you, girl.
Right.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, what's going on? So we can see that some time has passed. We don't know exactly how much. Um, and she's like, comfortable here. We seeing the clothes all over the place. Like she's made the hotel her home, and she's making all these calls, to all the different radio places
Mm-hmm.
and trying to, studios and all of that trying to get put on at this point. And we see that cash getting low in that box because come on, think about it. 14,000 ain't gonna last you but so long,
I
especially if you
know.
ain't got a regular income coming in and you just
And
putting
you
the
ain't
money
working
out.
no job. You just paying to survive.
Right.
Yeah, you gonna burn through that money and fast.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You hear the cat?
Child, the cat and his kids playing outside my window tonight.
I was like, that cat is sounding way more human.
Yeah, I was like, I thought that was human people. That was kids outside
Yeah,
playing.
there's kids like right underneath my window. I don't know why
It's
they
10
out there
o'clock at
tonight,
night.
but
Who baby kids is that?
so now she goes, I think she went to see about being like the hairdresser or whatever at the shop. And she has this conversation with this guy that tells her about this party where maybe she could possibly luck up and, be able to go ahead and either give her like demo to one of them or sing for them or whatever to try to get their attention because nothing seems to be working. At one point, we even heard her calling Death Row trying to get in with them.
Mm-hmm.
So Moochie, you want to break down this part with how it went
Oh,
down when she finally get to the party?
with Trey Chaney. Oh, this part he had. Yo, this is crazy. He was trying. He was like one of them producers. Like, yo, you gotta do something for me to do something for you.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is a crazy part, but she dubbed him. It was smart. But she did, she's trying to shop her stuff, so you're gonna run across a couple of creeps every now and then.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. But I like how she went in and she wasn't afraid. She got right to it. And she was like, man, forget going to, get the demo. I'm about to sing for y'all right now. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, that's when he was trying to be cute. And she was like, man, I might have came from my mother, but I'm not my mother. So, of course, now it's a year later and he pop up at the shop. EJ, what you thought about
Can you hear
You
me?
on mute, Tamika?
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought it was me.
Nah, she on mute.
No, I was asking EJ what you thought about this one. Is a year later, and what was his name?
Uh,
Ron
uh
Fair popped up
yeah,
at the
fair,
barber shop. Yeah.
fair. I thought it was dope. Once again, I felt like her, just based off of what we saw from her life, of her life story and the stuff that's played out on TV, I feel like she had a lot of divine intervention. I feel like a lot of things were meant to happen. When people say if it's meant to be, it'll be, it truly is. It may not happen, right when you want it to happen, but things happen the way that they're supposed to happen. And I feel like all the odds were against her. She wasn't supposed to make it, based on what we know of her story. And the fact that she did all of this stuff, and stuff happened the way it was supposed to happen. So I thought, I was like, you know what? If you're not a person who believes, or if you're not someone who has faith or believes in something, I don't see how listening to her story doesn't change your mind about faith and manifestation and willing things. I mean, I just feel like her story is a true testament to it.
Well said. Definitely. Hey, what's up, Detroit Kings? Thanks for coming through.
What up, Detroit?
So yeah, at this point he's coming, he's telling her we got that contract. He was like, I've been looking for you for a minute. She was ready to quit her job, and I love the fact that he said, nah, don't quit your job, because the money don't just start rolling in like that. Like, you need to go have a lawyer look over it, set certain stuff up before you quit anything. So this guy's over here ear hustling, and he hurried up and jumped into the conversation, telling her that he had some hookups, and she didn't really trust it at first.
Nah, she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
He don't really look like Manny though.
Yeah. I mean, listen, a lot of these people wasn't looking like the people. I'm just saying. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but it was a few.
Who he was supposed to be?
Manny. Mm-hmm. So he actually told her that she could get a gig that I think it was gonna pay 10 G's or 15 G's, one or the other.
10 G's. Yeah.
10 G's, right. Okay. So she was like, oh, for real? Okay, let's do it. So at that point, of course, things is picking up. She trying to call mama. She signing the contract. She in the studio. She do get the money from the event he was telling her about. Excuse me. And all of this kind of went through fast or whatever, right? Now, this part gave me chills. This is when her mother hears her song on the radio, even though she's out of it in this damn place. Moochie, you want to break this down?
You know what this reminded me of? Did y'all ever see the Natalie Cole story? When she first heard her song on the radio, she was somewhere like that getting high. This reminded me of this, yo.
Yeah.
This part. Because she heard her, and it was like she sobered up right away just to hear that. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was bugged out to me that she was in the end completely out of it, but she knew, wait a minute, that's my baby on the radio. She sat right on up. So at this point, we done fast forward to her song, being recognized, her album being recognized. This was another thing that, like I told y'all, people kind of nitpick on, because of course the way it is was the album. The first song was I Changed My Mind with Kanye West, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, even the song Never that she did with Eve actually had did good too. But it seemed like they really wanted to focus on Love for this particular thing. Which, listen, Love was my song. I ain't mad at it.
Love was the song that took it out of there. Yeah, though. Those two songs Kanye West put her on. Yeah, where she put her name with, like.
So I seen a lot of people say, "Wait, they skipped over that. How you just skipped that?" But I was
maybe she couldn't use Kanye West's song
I'm sure
because of
could.
him. You know how he probably is. He probably was asking about a whole lot of money.
Yeah, and it's a biopic that you got to put into an hour and 30 minutes.
Definitely did a good job as Frankie.
Yes,
no doubt about it.
Kendall.
So they celebrating and they saying how Frankie supposed to be there, but of course she ain't there. And her and Neffy, of course, was still getting into it a little bit with this part, but they was also celebrating and just happy, like, yo, my sister is the Keysha Cole, okay. And
she was spending a lot of money on.
Yeah, she sure was.
Oh yeah, she did, and because you remember when she first talked about, about her her singing and what she wanted to do with it. Her goal was always about family,
Oh,
and I always
absolutely.
admired her for that because
Yeah,
she did it. It wasn't fake.
Yeah,
She really did try to bring her whole family with her, and and I'm all for all of that, but sometimes we all learn from MC Hammer that trying to bring everybody sometimes don't always
that's a fact.
work out.
exactly.
That's a fact. Yeah. So yeah, they go to the celebration, and then when they get home from the celebration, Mama outside. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was nice.
Mama was outside. Like, what you thought about that, Moochie?
I was like, well, what the heck? Wasn't she supposed to show up? Wasn't she supposed to show up to this event?
Yeah,
And
she
she
was.
she came and she was all messed up. Oh,
Yeah.
this was
She.
crazy to me.
Hmm. I didn't
And
really
she was
care for
kind of
Keisha
embarrassed
outfit right
too.
here though. I was like, what the hell did she wear? But
Oh,
that's besides the point.
it was like some kind of harness or something on her at the bottom.
I was glad that she showed up because you could tell that Keisha has always wanted this, this thing with her mom. She always believed in her mom and she believed that
Yes.
she would come around. And that's why we haven't got to that part, but that's why for me it was heartbreaking when
Hmm.
after she went to jail and stuff, and you saw how Keisha's attitude changed, but then you also saw how Neffy's attitude changed for the opposite. You notice they went opposite at some
Yeah.
point, which I
Yeah.
thought was interesting. But I thought this was good that she showed up because I was like, dang, she got to show up at some point.
Right. Yeah. So I actually like this part with them. Like even like I said, when they showed her younger and she was talking to her, when they would have these conversations, I just always felt like Frankie was keeping it real with her, and it was interesting too that she even brought up something about you get your singing from me, and apparently Keisha didn't even know that her mother was really into singing, and she was telling her about a song she had wrote. I don't remember exactly what it was, but just still telling her like, yeah, you always had it, and I knew you had that gift, and encouraging her and having positive words to say to her and stuff like that. I just really like that. What did you think about this, Moochie?
I thought this was like she was really getting to know her mother more because she knew stuff about her, but she's talking to her and communicating with her, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I really like that, and I'm just chilling together and having a little, mother daughter girls nighttime. But baby, that didn't last long because the next day, what happened?
Oh, then she disappeared once again.
Oh yeah, they found the housekeeper found the drugs.
And the thing, yep. And she was going. They were saying she was going off and getting high during the filming of the reality show.
Yeah, and the thing about it was, like I said, just another thing that people was talking about in terms of, because this is when they have the conversation with her and they're trying to get her into the rehab and all of that, and just saying we care about you. Like, don't you care about yourself? And I know how that felt. I definitely have known people that have struggled with addiction. That's not an easy conversation, and no matter how
No.
much you want better for them or want them to do good. And they may even want it for themselves, but, they still struggle and they still may not do it no matter how much you want them to do it. You could be trying to tell them and praying about it and trying to will them and everything else, but it have to be them that put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
So now, when the whole reality show comes into play and she makes the agreement for that, I thought it was interesting. It wasn't surprising to me, but it was funny how right off the bat, when she was telling them a little bit about her family, they was kind of like, "Oh, well, we need something that's gritty," because of course they want the negativity, they want the drama. The moment she mentioned about her mother being in rehab and whatever different stuff with the system that was something negative, then they was all, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, that'll work," type of thing. I was like, ain't that something? But that's just what it is. They don't want stuff that's gonna be no type of good news.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
in all actuality, from what I remember, and I know it's been years, I don't watch too many reality shows, but that was one of the
I
ones
did watch this one.
that I do remember watching. I thought it was that her mom was in rehab and then she came out somewhere, down the line, like in the midst of it. And I didn't remember the husband, which we gonna get to him soon, but I didn't remember him being a part of that one either. So I felt like when it came to this movie, I felt like they was mixing in like three of the reality shows into one. But maybe I'm
Yep.
Yeah, they
okay.
were.
Okay. So I was like, wait, it
Cause
didn't happen
the
like
one
this.
she had with Booby, they had it by themselves at first.
Right. Yeah. And of
Well,
course,
no, she was on. They was on Love and Hip Hop,
right.
and he
Yeah.
talking about he don't like all these reality shows, and he was on there. He was
Hmm.
on a couple of them, and
Yeah.
then went on shows after they split up.
So of course, this is when she first meeting him. What y'all thought about this? Her mother was funny with this part too.
Yeah, I liked
Cause they
Frank.
was letting them know somebody in there was letting them know he a player. Player, player. Remember somebody said that? A comment like that?
Hmm. Yeah, her mom was funny with that too. But it seemed like once he came on the scene, he was just like, what? He was there every time you turned around.
I thought it was funny how, they the way they shot it, and then
Hmm.
when the camera finally pans out, they're actually is part of the reality show. I was like, okay, I
Right.
thought that was funny. But but I don't know. I thought this was I was a little bit confused at first when I first saw it. I was like, hold
Hmm.
on. The original show he was never in, because
Right.
I know he wasn't ever in that, because I remember I watched that one heavy. It's the
Right.
later ones that I was kind of in and out of. But then it came to me. I was like, oh, they're mixing this all up for
Yeah.
TV. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To
Yeah, it
so
took me a minute to realize that too, because I said he definitely wasn't in the way it is. And then she had, of course, Keisha and Daniel, Family First, which is the one that was done. And then she had All In, and then Frankie and Effie had Frankie and Effie. And I'm probably missing some because, like I said, I didn't keep up too much. But I was like, I don't remember this. And even with this whole taking her out to dinner and proposing to her and all of that.
yeah.
But they moved really fast.
Yeah, they did. I think it was Kendall who said it in the chat that she was
Yeah.
just unlucky with love.
Yeah.
She just is,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
It's just sad.
definitely agree. So now at this point, they got the baby. That we having a party and the whole nine line, and then Frankie gets out of rehab again, or was she in jail? I can't remember.
She
She
was
was
in
in
jail.
jail. Yeah,
She was in jail on this one. I think I can't remember how long she been gone. Is this the time when she was gone for 2 years?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. And she kind of felt like, well, damn, I'm not even coming back home to a welcome home party. But it's like, really, you think we're supposed to have a welcome home party when you keep, going back and doing certain stuff because you can't, reward certain behavior either.
Exactly. I was like, I mean, why would we give you a welcome home party? We're celebrating our child,
Right.
and you out of jail. We're glad that you're out of jail, but I don't really think that that's a celebration. I'm gonna celebrate you again. I mean, let's celebrate when you stay out of jail.
Hmm.
So, but
Yes, absolutely. So now we get into these two starting to have problems.
mm,
What did you think about this part, Moochie?
is she talking?
Moochie? Oh,
You on
you.
mute? Oh,
He just
shoot.
had a wandering eye. He wasn't. This guy wasn't ready for marriage. He wasn't ready
I
for
don't think either one of them was, but yeah, I
no.
agree. He did have a wandering
She
eye.
was more ready for it when she was making sure they have dinner by a certain
Mm-hmm.
time, and she wanted to really have some sort of structure going on in her
Mm-hmm.
house. And he wanted to be all over the place, and then he got broads calling and stuff like that. He was just out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I
like
was.
how the adopted mother stepped in too, because we see like periodically during these times she's there, she's babysitting different stuff like that. She's kind
Hmm.
of taking care of the baby while they, handling their business. And when she seen that it was about to be an argument between them two, because I think he was gonna have to go somewhere to play a game, and he must have thought she was gonna be able to go with him. And once he
Hmm.
heard her conversation on the phone and knew she was going somewhere else to work on the album, that's when he really caught the attitude and was like, "Oh, but I'm gonna be wherever it was
It's
in
Cleveland. This is when he
Cleveland."
was
And
going to
then,
Wasn't he
Cleveland.
yeah,
getting traded or something?
Yeah, this is when he
yeah,
was being traded to Cleveland.
hmm,
Yeah.
and grandma kind of stepped in, or adopted mother, whatever, we gonna just say grandma. She kind of
Mm-hmm.
stepped in and was like, oh well, I'll hold the baby down and bring him back with me, because I guess she felt like that was kind of minimizing the argument. But that was really when, well, at least from what they showing us up here, that was when it seemed like it was starting to be a crack in between them, and he's complaining about, it's always about you and what you're doing and all of that. Now I will say, the part when she was like busy talking on the phone, and he was like, well, why even have us set up for dinner if you're not going to be able to sit down? And she was like, oh, because I want us all to have dinner together. I was like, well, girl, technically y'all not having dinner together because you already handling your business
Yeah.
on the phone. But it was like they was just already doomed, and I feel like they just already rushed into this whole relationship way too fast anyway, without really knowing each other. So it was starting to
Yeah.
crumble. So at this point, she feels like, I guess, that everything is happening bad. Let's end this whole reality thing. And she throws the contract in the garbage that's supposed to be for season 4. What did y'all think about this? And they was upset.
Mm.
They was upset because their money was about to stop.
Yeah.
They was spending money that they didn't even have already.
Hmm.
And they
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, hold up, you stopping our little cash flow,
Hmm.
and this is not gonna be good. What we gonna do?
Yeah, that was interesting to me too, because they all was naming things that they had set up. Like I can't remember the exact things, but nephew was like, "My such and such brand about to come out," and the other one was like, "I was about to do this," and Frankie was like, "I was about to do that. How you gonna mess it up for us?" And she was like, "Well, I don't know what to tell y'all. This is kind of ripping us apart and is ripping my marriage apart." And they was like, "Oh, damn it is. It's about you and your marriage."
Yeah, like
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, this part right here for me was probably one of the saddest parts because, you know, to me, in my opinion, I felt like Keisha gave so much. You know what I'm saying? Like you were afforded this opportunity because of the
Mhm.
work that she put into. I don't remember seeing anybody else there calling, trying to help, get her into these spaces that she needed to get to. But when she got into these spaces, she certainly made sure that all of them were able to eat and come along as well. She did the
Yeah,
same thing for a lot of her other family too, her brothers and stuff too. Like she really really made sure that they were good, and it felt like they were just ungrateful. At the end of the day, she gave you an opportunity, but now it's up to you to take this opportunity and do what you need to do for your own self. You don't continue to eat off of someone else. Yes, she helped you, but now it's time for you to step out here and make your own steps. And Neffy was like, she was starting a clothing brand. Well, guess what? You got money from this situation that you're in. So go ahead and start your clothing brand. You don't
Right,
need to continue to
started.
show
Yeah.
in order to do that. That shit pissed
Mhm.
me off so bad because I
You
didn't
could
like the way
start
they
your
did
own
her.
thing, right? Like now that you got that opportunity and she helped you with that part, you could do the other part on your own. That's how I felt. So I wasn't even mad when she went and got her own thing, to be honest, because I was like, that's what you're supposed to do with that opportunity, not sit around and complain. But child, now we get to this.
Ugh.
She she putting the rose petals out. She got her little sexy negligee on.
mm-hmm.
And what do we find?
Some girls' panties.
Like,
Just
dude, how
dumb.
you put the panties in the suitcase?
That girl did that. You know, girls be marking their territory. Don't they? He probably, I'll explain this scenario. He
Yeah, we
probably
know
done
how
did
it go.
something, went to sleep, and she was digging around in his bag and, oh, I'm gonna put these panties here.
You know that's how it went, girl. And
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing that's just so out of line. If you gonna be a side chick, be a bona fide side chick and play your
Mhm.
role and stop doing all this extra stuff. You ain't have to put
Right.
no underwear in here. You
You
already know
know,
this man got a girl. I mean, it's Keisha Cole for
you
crying
Hmm.
out
know who
loud. So
his
let's
woman
not
is.
let's not act like we
Right.
don't know. So you did that on purpose. I
Mm-hmm.
can't stand when females be like that. I'm like, if you gonna be a side chick, just be a side chick and that's it. Like
And
stop.
fall back. Fall
Right.
Exactly.
back and know your role. Stay in your
Exactly.
lane.
Either that or don't be a side chick.
Yeah.
Right.
Shit.
You want to be you a side chick, but you want wifey privileges.
Yeah,
Exactly. So you gonna throw the underwear in there? Like, why did that make sense? Okay, so
right.
now you think that he gonna leave her to come be with you? Like, no, that's not how
No.
this that like life has told people. Like after situation that we've seen play out, we have seen that
Mm-hmm.
that is typically not how it goes. How many times did Kirk cheat
Hmm.
on Rashida and yet he's still with Rashida? I'm just saying,
Yeah, it don't
crazy.
work that way, but you always gonna have somebody be, dingy. But of course, she go and approach him in the daggone shower, and he don't have a clue. He's swearing he about to get out and get him some living. Okay, he like, what you talking about? Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm,
But
mm.
then we find out, which nobody was surprised because the breadcrumbs was pretty much leading up to that. Because even when she came and was having that whole conversation with her family in the living room, he was looking down texting somebody the whole time, and she like, "Well, who you texting?" And I forgot who he said, but nonetheless, we find out and hear from her that this has been a continuous thing. How many people I'm gonna catch you with? How many
Yeah.
times you
Yeah.
gonna be cheating? That he making up all the reasons why he had to cheat, but tell him what he can do now to make that change.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, nothing get out.
Me and her said it at the same time. I want a divorce. That's what you can do. You can sign them divorce papers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm-mm. I felt bad for her though.
I
Yeah.
did too. She had a hard time with her love life.
Yeah.
Like just I know she was dating Jeezy for a minute and he did something crazy.
Hmm.
But then turned around. No, I ain't even gonna say it. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
then
ahead.
turned around and was messing with the game. I don't know why she even messing
Oh
with that one.
Lord.
I'm not talking about that. I was talking
So,
about Jeezy. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Like how he. Like, I just. Okay, go ahead. Keep
No,
going.
girl, I just thought he did her. I didn't like the way he did her.
No, I didn't either. But I'm talking about. But you see his new love life, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Okay.
how
he
it
was
be sometime though.
like the perfect dude riding a bike and all
Yeah,
this other nonsense.
they wasn't meant for each other. This wasn't happening then.
Yeah, Kendall. She did date Birdman. I forgot about that one.
Yes.
Yeah, she was dating him.
She
That
had
was
some
crazy.
interesting choices.
Yeah, and I think at that time that was the time when he and Tony Braxton was hooking up too. Because wasn't that a whole thing in the?
Yeah, they were supposed to
Yeah.
be married, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?"
They was like basically their timelines kind of combined.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Hmm. So of course, this is when she come and find out that Effie and Frankie got a whole reality show going on. She like, "What's going on here? I canceled it." They like, "Nah, this is ours. Okay, you can't tell me what to do up in my house."
I couldn't believe that they blindsided her like this.
I
That was
could,
kind of messed up, yo.
I
I remember
could, and you
watching
know
that
what?
episode too.
Effie and Frankie actually was Effie. They was
Nephew.
actually kind of had the similar attitudes. I think that's what made them bump heads because she
Hmm.
kind of had that same type of attitude, baby. They was like the little stuff they were saying. Then when they both hurried up and clicked their glasses together when she walked out, I was like, yo, y'all was really a freaking mess. I remember that, but.
Yeah. Oh, Neferteria.
Hmm.
What a name, Neferteria. But yeah, you're right about that though. Her and oh my goodness, really? Oh, busted the windows. I was reading Samara's comment. She said she also dated Bow Wow. I didn't know about that
Oh
one.
I
yeah,
didn't
that's
know
right.
about
She
that
did
one.
date Bow Wow. That was yeah.
Oh,
Oh
I didn't know
yeah, I
about that.
think I do vaguely remember that.
That was after Sierra.
Yeah, after Sierra.
Oh wow. But yeah, as
Yeah.
far as Neffy was concerned, I've even remembering going back and looking at the reality show, remembering some of the stuff that went down there. She just always have struck me as very ungracious. And I think it's because she feels like she's owed something because of whatever happened to her in these places that she that where she wasn't safe, I guess, because I don't know
Hmm.
exactly what happened. I don't know the story,
Right.
but whatever it was, I think she felt like she was owed this, and it was really ungrateful to me. Like, I feel like, yeah, you should have said something. You actually using her manager. That's
Hmm.
her manager.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you're using her manager to get opportunities, and we all know that she's getting these opportunities based off of
Off of
Right.
Keysha. Like,
Hmm.
that's
exactly.
the only reason why you're getting these opportunities. And for you to treat her like that and be like, I ain't got to tell you this. But at the end of the day, you gonna need her again one day. That's one thing about it, is that people have to, you gotta be careful how you treat people, because you might need them again at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You never know
Yeah,
how.
that's usually the way it goes, though. People will take advantage of you no matter which way. And I mean, even the manager was wrong, but he ain't gonna turn nothing down that's gonna give him $1 either. That's why she was like, "Oh, really? Him? Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him later, or whatever." But it was gonna get him $1. It was gonna get him $1, and the way they
Yep.
probably looked at it was like, "Okay, well, you said you didn't want to do that reality show and continue with the season 4, so we gonna take it and do our own thing." But of course, we know it didn't end up working out anyway. But
Mm-mm.
it
But
was
that's
like.
how stuff go, because if it's not meant
Mm-hmm.
to be, it's just not meant to be. And when you don't do stuff the right way,
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
sometimes
they do
it
like
doesn't
one
work out.
season of it and it did
That's
all
it.
right?
It
Yeah,
went it
because
went one
after
season.
that, Frankie
Frankie.
started struggling again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another thing, is that and I think they talk about how she was living with Neffy, right?
Right.
But then
Yeah.
she somehow ends up
Yeah.
leaving. One thing about it, I did want to go back to this real quick, because remember
Mm-hmm.
when I was talking about Neffy and Keysha and how they kind of swapped. We saw that when
Yeah.
when she got out of jail, Keisha's attitude kind of shifted a little bit. She was hurt and everything by the fact that her mom had, she had tried to help her, and then she goes back to this, and she just felt like this is the life that you want. But then
Right.
Neffy, who had always been against Frankie so much and always was like she ain't never
Mm-hmm.
gonna do this, all of a sudden it was her best friend and she loved her so much.
Right.
And I thought that
Mm-hmm.
that was interesting
It was.
dynamics, that's the way it shifted. And it all felt like it was because, this is just my opinion, y'all, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but it felt like it was because of the money, and because they
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
are so much alike.
Yes, absolutely.
If I'm doing good and there's nothing going on bad in my life right now, then you know what I'm saying? That's kind of the energy that I was feeling. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and she did have a lot of stuff going on with her. I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all ever saw that time when she was on
With the husband and stuff.
Ayana, and Ayana caught her gutter snipe. Lord of mercy.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't funny. God forgive me. But
What did
baby,
she call
a gutter snake.
A gutter snake. I didn't see I knew she was on it, but I didn't see it. I just remember that she was going through a lot with her
Yeah,
husband and
Oh
all
yeah,
it
that
was
it
a
was
stuff.
a
mess. It
it
was,
was
when
it
I
was a
say a
mess.
hot mess, child.
And we don't know. Some of this stuff could have been stemming from a husband.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's somebody in your ear, you know,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
telling you to do X, Y, and Z, and you don't, and everybody ain't strong like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
true.
So we don't know.
So, at this point, she's here performing, and she feel like she having a heart attack. That's how them panic attacks feel. I get
Mm-hmm.
them. I get panic attacks and anxiety. It ain't no joke. So
Hmm.
of course they had to, call the EMS, and she like panic attack. I guess it was all the stress from the family, from the, trying to wait to get this divorce from this husband of hers, and
Mm-hmm.
just everything piled up on her, where she couldn't even perform. She had to get off the stage. And then we see her, finally getting the divorce papers, and we see that she on medication now. What you thought about that, Moochie?
I thought that she was overwhelmed with a lot of stuff in her life when she had
Yeah.
nowhere to vent.
Mhm.
And her husband was supposed to be her safe place. He turned on her. And I know she feels like it stemmed from the reality show. Then she
Mhm.
sees how her mom is like a ticking time bomb as far as
Right.
her addiction goes, and now you're putting her in an atmosphere where they're probably bringing stuff to her,
Mhm.
and she's doing it on set and everything like that. So she's stressed out behind everything,
Yeah.
and then she's still trying to keep her career afloat.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. She was dealing with a lot.
Yeah, and you have to give her props too for never turning to that as well, because sometimes
Absolutely.
addiction can be
Absolutely.
hereditary, I guess, is what.
Exactly.
So I give her much props for that, because everything that she was going through and the ease of access in the world that she's in, she definitely could have picked up that white girl any minute,
Absolutely.
Hmm.
kept it pushing. So
Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. So this is when, of course, they finally talk. They haven't been talking for a minute, and she finds out Frankie ain't with her no more. She like, what happened? She's like, yeah, girl, we lost the reality show and everything. And um, Keysha was telling her, like, well, I was mad, I was upset. She was like, about what? So they just could never seem to be on the same page and really understand each other. I feel like they talk at each other and not to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know you can
Yeah.
have conversations, but you really ain't
Every
comprehending what the other person say. No matter what they say, you gonna take it the way you gonna take it. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I
everything
felt
turns
like.
into a confrontation between them
Yeah,
two.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. That's
Every
how I
time.
felt. So she then, of course, goes looking for her mother. What you thought about this part, EJ? She just couldn't help herself, and I get it because it's your mother, but oh,
Yeah. I just always felt so heartbroken for her. Just watching her continuously. She did all of this for her mother when it's all said and done, for her family, because she had this idea of this family. And I know we haven't talked about her and how she wanted to find her father and all this type of stuff,
yes,
but the you can just tell that she was really searching for this family. And it's interesting because
yes,
she kind of almost had a family more than what some of the other kids, some of her other siblings had.
mm-hmm.
But yet she still wanted this family, her mom
Yes,
with her
yes,
siblings, with her father. You know what I'm saying? Like she wanted all of this. And so of course she's gonna go looking for her. And it just broke my heart to see her mother just walk away. And it's like, I'm
yeah,
gonna do this,
yeah,
and then she had to walk away from it. But at some point, at some point a healing has to happen and she
yeah,
has to let her go. And eventually she has to want to do this for herself. She has to want to be better for
exactly,
herself. So
yeah, yeah. She was pretty much like, girl, why you keep coming? I'm okay. Even when I'm not okay, I'm okay.
hmm
Yeah.
So of course, this one she meet old Nico.
yeah,
What you thought about Nico?
he like a baby.
Yes, that's what I was
He
thinking.
was though with the spoken word. She seemed like she was shocked that he was trying to push up on her. And he was trying to talk to her. She seemed like she was caught off guard with it.
Yeah. You know what this part gave me? How we was talking about Run the World the other day and Whitney wanted the spontaneous. I feel like he
Mhm.
gave her spontaneous. He made her laugh. You
Yeah.
know, he took
Yeah,
What happened?
I think she on mute, but yeah, it feels like he did make her laugh though on the real.
Yeah.
I don't know, and and something about, to me, was he not just like super young? Like I don't remember during this time, was she still doing reality shows during the second
Nah,
baby?
nah, she wasn't doing no reality shows with the second baby yet.
mm-mm.
She we just heard like the word on the street that she was with a younger guy, and
Okay.
then you heard that she was pregnant again, and then I think you heard I don't even, did they get married?
Yeah, I don't
I,
think so.
I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think so though. But it's just when I saw it, I was like, why he's so young?
Yeah, I was like, she was this young boy.
Yeah, he looked like a little baby, and it's funny too because when she's even having the conversation, I don't know if that's coming up next. No, I think it's a little bit further down, but she does have a conversation with the adopted mother at one point when she talks about them, having problems, and she goes, "Was it the age?" And that part cracked
Yeah.
me. Up.
Cause she probably told her about it. You know how people warn you, and people be
Hmm.
like, you know what? But we love each other. It's gonna be different.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, it ain't gonna be different, honey. He's
Not
Yeah.
with
going.
that age.
But it's
Mm-mm,
even
not that young.
interfering with her work now, where they complaining and saying every time you get with a guy, you showing up late, you not doing the stuff the way you supposed to. And she's, kind of saying, yes, I do. I do what I'm supposed to do no matter what. And I had all these albums back to back to back with no break. I didn't remember her having all them hours back to back to back though. I ain't gonna lie.
All of her albums just didn't hit though.
Right.
And that's,
Well,
go ahead.
I had the second two. I had the first one, the second one, and I think I had the third one too. A different me.
Yeah,
That
I
was
had those
good.
three. I had those three.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had those too.
So now, of course, is when she's pretty much, it's like deja vu, the same thing she was saying to Booby, her husband,
Hmm.
it feels like she's going through the same thing here, and it feels like she has that aha moment where I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
looking for you guys to be able to come in and give me these things, but in all actuality, I gotta look inside myself and look to God. I'm not gonna find it looking to you guys.
Right.
Exactly. And he took it personal, but that's what I expect from a young person, to
Yeah,
take it personal. But I understood exactly where she was coming from in that moment, because
absolutely,
we sometimes do that. Sometimes we're looking for someone else to give us validation, to
absolutely,
give us this love. And that's what we saw her do this entire time, was look for love, whether it was from her mom, her
right.
family, her this, her that.
Hmm.
She just kept looking for love instead of looking from within and learning to love herself and build everything up in herself. And then at the end of the day, if you love yourself, if you nurture yourself, then you'll know how to
Hmm.
be loved, and you'll know how to be allowed. You'll know what love is supposed to look like and what it's supposed to feel
Exactly.
like, and you can allow love to come in.
Hmm.
So I love that moment for her.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on some, oh, you got the songs and you got the reality shows. That's where I'm trying to get. And she's like, okay, what that got to do with me? Like, how's that my fault? So I got it because he is young, but it was like, well, that's not her problem, dude. So he kind of just felt like he could do whatever he want to do because he's so called, quote unquote, trying to get to whatever level he feel like he trying to get to. So of course that's the conversation I was talking about with her saying, was it the age? But then she also told her that she could have potentially found who her father was, but she's gonna need to get, Frankie's permission on it as well, or get her signature. And then that's when she finds out that Frankie actually checks herself into a rehab this time.
Mhm.
I wish they would have went a little bit more into the father and her actually getting to see him again, but of course, we didn't get that. But we do get her going to see Frankie and having this conversation with her. Either one of y'all want to break this conversation down? Because I felt like Frankie just was literally still saying what she's been saying for the longest time. And she
Hmm.
also didn't understand why she wanted to find her father so bad. Like EJ was mentioning, I think it was in the beginning part, one of the first times that she went to see her. And she brung up the father. She was like, girl, me, you, the Pope, and God want to know who it is. And she just
Yeah.
make it seem like we don't know who it is and we don't care type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So it seemed like she couldn't really understand why that was bothering her so bad. She was like, just, concentrate on you. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing or who anybody else is. And she kind of made me laugh a little bit when she was like, you keep trying to figure out my life for me. Shoot, I'm having a hard enough time figuring out my own life. It's harder than this damn puzzle. You know?
Yeah, that was funny.
Anybody else got anything to add to it?
I was liking the fact that they was actually having a good conversation because she was sober.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I really truly agree. I think Frankie has always had her moments,
Mhm.
which is what I've always enjoyed about Frankie. This was one of the reality shows that I really did like to look at. I really enjoyed Frankie. It wasn't really for me. I liked seeing Frankie pop out because I didn't know what she
Hmm.
was gonna say, what she was gonna do.
Yeah, she always had her quick little sayings, and
Mhm.
she was real.
Yeah, you remember when she had the holla, all that
Yes,
stuff. I
What
mean,
man down? That's the one
yes.
that really made it.
uh-huh. Yep. So I don't know. I really enjoyed when she's sober, you just see that she has so much potential and so much to
Mhm.
offer, even no matter, we know her vice, we know what's, her addiction, but outside of that, it was just so much that she could offer and do. And she's naturally funny. I mean,
Yeah,
my gosh, she was naturally funny.
absolutely,
She had to try.
absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
That me too, Kendall. You see Kendall's comment. I honestly thought the same thing. I was like, does she even
He
know?
says, I often wondered if Frankie really didn't know who Keisha's dad was, but always felt she did know. I have a feeling
But didn't
she.
they say it was a white guy? Wasn't she saying that at one time?
I'm not sure, to be honest, and I don't remember ever seeing any type of picture or seeing him on any video. I know that I heard that she did get to meet him. They had some type of relationship before he passed when she was in the interview, and even the behind the scenes that she did on this, she mentioned him passing as well as her mom and her kind of having a dedication for both of them. But that's about as far as I ever known it to go. So whoever her adopted mother found, and I guess that was actually him, but they just wanted to be able to do the blood work to confirm it. But for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, they didn't really go into the
Details
the
of it.
details of
That's
it.
why I say, Tamika, that this truly was just a love story to her
Yes.
mom, because there
Yes.
was different avenues that they could have traveled
Right.
down that we didn't get to see in the reality. Like I
Right.
said, I didn't see all of the reality, but I did see most
Hmm.
of that first 3 seasons of what is it, the way it is.
Yeah.
I saw damn near all of those episodes, but I
Hmm.
feel like there were those little things like the father. That was something I always wondered about. Did she ever find her father? Who was he? What
Right.
did he look like? You know what I'm saying?
All
Like,
right, well, I'm
just
about to show y'all.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. I'm getting the
And they
picture.
did do an unauthorized biography on her too, called The Ghetto Rose. So that might have been another
What
reason
they
why
called
she
it? The ghetto what?
Ghetto Rose or Ghetto Rose, I think was the name of it.
mm,
And I think she probably felt too like, nah, let me tell my own story. Ain't nobody gonna be doing no daggone, things on me.
yeah, that
So when
makes
she
sense.
came back this time and they was having the next party, she was looking good. And this is when, she was basically promising her that they was gonna get together. I think it was gonna be her birthday coming up
Yep.
next.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Candy Love says she did remember hearing it was a white man. Okay.
I got he looks like a white guy, but nah, he
Okay.
look like a black dude. I got
Let's
the
see.
picture of him up if you wanna
Okay, I'm gonna put it up.
that's him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
because
do kind of look. He looked like he what? He looked like he could be
He look like
mixed.
he's
I don't know.
mixed.
oh, hold
Yeah.
Yeah, he
on,
look
I'm
like
looking
he's
at the wrong
mixed.
thing.
Yeah, he look like he's mixed.
He was definitely a John.
Yeah.
You said a John? Like he was like she was like $5.
Wow.
Five
Yeah, okay.
dollars.
He don't look like a bad looking guy though.
Nuh-uh.
Mm.
Listen, Mama said I was out there. All right.
Okay,
Shoot.
exactly. That's what's up. I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't follow their story much after the way it is.
I didn't either. I'm not even gonna lie, but
Yeah.
I know that it was like even when you wasn't following it, they was, always some type of story, mostly about her mom and nephew. Unfortunately, to really be
Yeah,
honest,
Mm-hmm.
but then it was
yeah,
things with her too, of course, with the breakup of her husband. Whatever the news and the blogs could talk about, they would be
exactly.
talking about it, and that's how I would hear certain things because I wasn't keeping up as far as the reality shows anymore. But so much of her life was public, so I think that's
Yeah.
also why a lot of people was like, "But what's she gonna talk about with this, whole my story thing?" Because so much of her story played out in the public eye.
Yeah,
And of
Exactly.
course, this is when her mom, on her birthday of all things, Lord of mercy, God bless, rest in peace. But
yeah,
she ends up passing away, and Keisha was calling and leaving her a message at that time. Then she gets the call that she's gone. Ugh,
yeah.
so horrible.
It
And
was.
this is basically the ending of it. We started back where we ended, I should say, where we started in the beginning, and we also have her in the studio singing the song that she made for her mom, which I love the song. I
I
thought
like
the
the
song was
song.
beautiful. Yeah, I thought the song was beautiful, and I think this love letter to her mom was beautiful.
I think so too. I agree with you
Mm-hmm.
100%, Tamika.
Yeah. And like I said, I give her all the props that she was able to reenact that because I felt like we could do this without me reenacting it. I wouldn't have been able to keep it together, baby.
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't
crazy
have
that
been
she
able to keep it together
reenacted
at
that
all.
part.
And she even said behind the scenes that that was a really difficult part. And even as she was interviewing and talking about it, she was like, "Y'all give me a minute." She was like, "That's what I had to say when I was doing this." So I wonder if that was like her choice, or if they asked her like, "Would you be okay if we bring this part in?" I don't know how that worked, but she agreed to it, and you know, God bless her.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Kendall, to be
I'm
honest.
looking it up now.
I just think she OD'd. I don't know if it had anything to do with that. Could possibly, but yeah. That was pretty much it, you guys. I mean, what would you give this as a rating overall? What did y'all think about it? Y'all tell us in the comments. Anybody that come back and watch this on the replay, y'all let us know what y'all liked, what y'all didn't like, what y'all would have wanted more of, and all that good stuff. You want to hear?
I
Yeah.
would probably give it a definitely 8.5, and that's just because, and this is off a biopic rating,
Right.
because biopics to me and movies are just totally different.
Right.
But I think this biopic was done very well. I think it came out the way that she wanted it to come out,
Yes.
and that's what I respect the most about it. Are there a few things that I would have wanted to just dabble into a little bit more? Maybe
Mhm.
so, but at the end of the day, like I said, I believe that this was more of a love story to her mom, and if that's what
Yes.
she was trying to do, that's what she accomplished. I think she
Yeah.
did a great job with it. So I'm definitely going to give it, 8.5, 9 even, just because it's her story and it's the way she wanted to tell it.
Yeah.
Okay, I do give it a 8.5 also as well. I thought everything was good. I'm glad that she was in this as the actress herself. And
Mhm.
also I did look that up. Um the mother did Frankie did die of a fentanyl accidental fentanyl overdose.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's been taking a lot of people now. That's the new thing that's taken. Before it was, you know, crack or heroin. Now it's fentanyl. I unfortunately have lost people to that. So God bless
Sorry
Wow.
her.
about that.
She rest in peace.
Yeah.
And you
For
know,
sure. Cause did
God.
y'all see that one time when she was on the court? Y'all about fell out when somebody took
Oh
Frankie to
yeah, when
court.
she was on, wasn't she on
Oh
people
yeah.
court? Or she was
The
on one of them court shows.
it was one of the
Yeah.
good ones too. It was either the black lady who be going off, or either Judge Mathis. It was one of the
It
two.
was one of those type of shows. You
And
right.
it was so hilarious. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. Frankie was the life of the party. Like she really brought it. I like Frankie. I ain't even gonna lie to you. She feel like she
Yeah.
would be a ball of fun to hang
Hmm.
around.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay, yeah,
Absolutely.
she
I agree.
did die for a fentanyl overdose on her 61st birthday, July 18th.
Hmm. Oh wow!
And
So
she
it was
passed
just the
away from.
anniversary too. Or
Yeah.
the anniversary is just about to come up.
Yep.
Yeah. Whew.
What was it?
Yeah.
What day was that? What did you say?
July
Um
18th.
yeah, I
Oh,
had
July.
I had put it on the
Oh.
thing. It's
July
on the
18th.
bottom if you want to see. So yeah, that's basically what it was. She did passed away from a fentanyl overdose, an accidental fentanyl overdose. So I was just showing you that little clip. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible. But I know. Oh God, what did I do? Okay.
Oh, put EJ back.
Sorry, EJ. I keep clicking on you every time I'm trying to click on something else. Um, I know that, I'm glad I agree with EJ. I'm glad she got to tell her story her way. This was her love letter to her mom. And she even talks about, how you see that her mom loved butterflies and gave her the butterfly ring and all that. She said from the time her mom passed, a butterfly kept coming around, and when she looked it up, it had said, death and something. So she kind of felt like it was her mom coming around her. I know my
Yeah, that's what they
cousin
mean.
got a story like that pertaining to his son as well. So,
Hmm.
I always feel like we got our angels that's over us, and I'm
Yeah.
very sure that her mom is an angel that's over her and
Oh
protecting
yeah.
her. And I remember, like, even when they were sitting at that table with their last conversation, she kept saying, like, what would I do without you here? And she's like, girl, you're gonna do what you already been doing. You're gonna be all right. God gonna have you and guide you. So, she just pretty much, like I said, was always real, was always honest with her. And I love that part of their relationship, regardless of what else was going on with her, you know.
Exactly. Because people are not their addictions. You know what I'm saying? Like their
Yeah.
addiction is
Absolutely.
one thing, but at the end of the day, what she meant to, her, is
Hmm.
different. And that's how it is.
Yeah.
Like just because someone has an addiction, what they mean to their family, you can't say what that is. And you could see the
Hmm.
love that she had for her and how much she really cared for her.
Yeah.
And she saw through that addiction because she knew she could do better and she could be better. And that's all she
Mhm.
wanted for
Exactly.
her, and we
Hmm.
saw so many glimpses of it, of her doing better. And I really
Right.
wish that she could have, I
Yeah.
really wish this didn't have to happen to her, because like I said, I felt like she was such a natural and that she really could have just done so much more.
Hmm.
So sad, but you know.
Yes, y'all. But that's what we got. That was Keysha Cole. This is my story. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I thank y'all so much for joining us, Kendall, Savannah, Candy Love. Um, Demarcus was in the building. Samara, Monique 69 Ways. I think Detroit King popped in and
Candy Love.
Candy Love
Mm-hmm.
was in the building. We appreciate all
Detroit
you
was there
guys.
tonight, here tonight too.
Mm-hmm.
Struggle came through. Thank
Evil,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
you.
Shout out to Struggle
Yes,
TVs. If
thank
y'all
you,
didn't
Struggle
see
Z.
her and Moochie just was talking about Joanna Man. That's one of my movies too. I haven't seen that in
Mm-hmm.
a while. My sister loved that movie, baby. She used to run that thing in the ground. Make sure y'all check that out.
Yep,
And
and it was
Moochie.
a good thing, a good thing. It touched on many different stuff. We talk about today's times and the
Mm-hmm.
time when the actual movie was made. So y'all might want to check. Y'all need to check it out. Not might. Y'all need to check it out. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moochie, tell them about what you got going on, what you got coming up.
All right, what I got coming
Um,
up tomorrow is trending topics. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to have some nice trending topics. We might have like a little rap session where be some debating going on. I got my crew coming in from the D. I got the ladies there. So we're going to chop it up and talk it out at 9:05. Please come in, keep your notifications on, hit that like bell, put us up in the algorithm. Yeah.
all right. All right, y'all. Now I was like to say I've done got it, y'all. Learn how to do it, but then I said,
You
can I
got
take?
it. Look, you ain't kicked me out. I'm still here. Look, I'm still here. And don't forget Monday, Run the World finale at 9:05.
It's going down,
It's
y'all. The
going down. Y'all got me sounding like Funk Master Flex.
finale. Okay, EJ, what you got going on?
Huh?
Next week, can y'all hear me?
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. So next week is my birthday. So y'all make sure that y'all come through on Thursday, which is going to be my birthday. And I am going to be doing a birthday bash after, I think we're still doing our movie. So after our movie thing, I'm going to be doing that later in the night. So definitely going to be doing that. I think I'm going to be doing some stuff with Tika on Monday after Run the World. I'm going to be doing something with her, and then I'm probably just going to be dropping a lot of all the Queen's Men content this week. And I don't know what else. I don't think I have anything else that I can think of at the moment. Just keep your notifications on. Oh, next week. Oh, I do have one more thing. Next week, I am going to be starting the family business story time, where we're going to be digging deep into the books and talking about the books and stuff like that. We're going to be having a live show doing that. That's going to be me and Candy Love. So definitely come through and check that out, y'all. If you are a family business fan and you like the books, then we're about to do it.
Okay. That seems like a plan. Lord. Okay, yeah. Practice makes perfect. I'm
You
trying to
got
get
it. You did it. You
I'm
got it.
trying to get it. So, for me, I don't think I got anything coming up right now. I just did my sister's yesterday, and um, what else did I do? I had did something else this week. I don't even remember what it was. But anyway, y'all, I will be on with Moochie, of course, to talk about the season finale of Daggone Run the World.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, I do sisters every Wednesday. If y'all didn't see like my Black Mirror or the Clearing or Class of '09 reviews, y'all can check that out. And if y'all missed when we did the Mary J. Blige movies, Real Love and Strength of a Woman, y'all check that out. And other than that, until next week, it'll be time for sisters again, and then it'll be time for our Thursday night movie again. I'm still trying to figure out what that's going to be. I'm going to put it up in the community tab and let y'all know, so that way if it is something that y'all didn't watch, y'all can have time to watch it. And if it's something that we've already watched before, then y'all can rewind and revisit it and refreshing your memories on it. I'll keep y'all posted on that. So just keep y'all notifications on, and we will let you know. And of course, we will be all joining EJ to celebrate. Go EJ. It's your
Shopper.
birthday. We're gonna be
Hey.
getting it in for that. So y'all make sure y'all, stay tuned. And we will see y'all next time.
All right. Peace.
Night, y'all.